a fucking champion.
We apologize. Of course, we're on live TV, and we apologize.
Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let you know this video was brought to you by me and the good people at Print Champs, man. You know, listen, your hurt season hats, they on the way. It's not too late to buy your hurt season Super Bowl MVP edition hat. I don't even have mine yet, man, because I'm worried about taking care of everybody else first. You know what your purchase of that hat, it puts you in the running to come see the game with me when the banner drop. You definitely want to be a part of that opening day. Sit with LB, go to all the tailgates and all of that. The link going to be pinned in this comment. Also, go on Even, grab a broken crayon, still colors for $10 or more. That's also going to put you in the running as well. The link is going to be in the comment for the music, for the hats. Whichever one you do is up to you, man. But if you like fashion, we got you. You like music, we got you. Also, Big Bet US in the building, man. Best betting variety in the business. If you bet on the Eagles this year, you want some money. You know what I'm saying? Quick and easy withdrawal process. 150% on your first deposit, 125% on your couple deposits after that. Get with the folks at Bet US, man. Let's talk about priorities, man. What are the priorities for the Philadelphia Eagles? What are the priorities for the offensive coordinator search? What are we going to do? We got some things to discuss. Listen, we won the bowl. That's no easy thing. You know, we ain't going to lie. We're like I don't look good in the jump. We won the bowl. You know what I'm saying? Now the search is on for offensive coordinator. I think that is absolutely priority number one. I don't even think that's priority number one for real. I think priority number one is Zack Baun, if you want me to keep it 100. Zack Baun is definitely priority number one. You know what I mean? How do you acquire, how do you get Zack Baun? I'm seeing something projected like 3 years, $40 million for Zack Baun. I like them numbers. That's about $12.5 million a year. I think Zack Baun will play for that for the Philadelphia Eagles. Give him some nice guarantee money. We cool with that. You know what I'm saying? If you could find somebody to keep a Milton Williams and a Zack Baun on the roster, I think that just boasts huge dividends for what you're going to do, you know what I'm saying, with this defense next year. But Zack Baun and Milton Williams means you return to having the number one defense, in my opinion. I think Moro Ajomo was going to fill in really well if you can't keep Milton Williams, but Zack Baun is the top priority right here. Then after Zack Baun, I would see, you know what I mean, in terms of guys you want to retain, I would see what you could do with Milton. I think you could pretty much kiss Sweat goodbye. Not saying we don't need him. I'm saying that Sweat is going to go out there and get that bag. You know what I'm saying? He had the fur on. Sweat out here, he counting the money already. You know what I mean? And Sweat is going to be one of the most sought out after free agents of this class for real. So I can see Sweat moving on to greener pastures, going to get a bag, or not even greener pastures, moving over to the grass definitely ain't greener. You leaving a Super Bowl team. But, you know, it's about the bag. It's about the bag chase. And, you know, sometimes you just can't keep everybody. And we got to be okay with that as a franchise, man. Then you got to go over to the offensive coordinator thing, man. What do you want to do? I personally don't want nobody in-house. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring nobody into this in-house, man. You know what I mean? I know we talk about a couple guys that's already on the staff. I want somebody to come in with some new innovative ideas, man. You know what I mean? I want somebody creative to come in here and really see what we could do about taking us to the next level. You know what I mean? I think it's another level this offense can unlock. Listen, I'm talking like this with a Super Bowl hat on. It's another level this offense can unlock. You know what I mean? It's easy to have somebody come in and run an offense through Saquon Barkley. But, you know, next season, I think guys are going to try to put the emphasis on stopping that. But you just saw what Jalen Has did in the playoffs. I don't think that that's a recipe to stopping the Philadelphia Eagles for a lot of people. But like I said, man, offensive coordinator and Zack Baun, those are the pressing things right now because you want to get your offensive coordinator in here before the draft. Luckily, that Fangio was great at being where he's at right now. Fangio got his lick back. He dismantled Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? The Eagles got their lick back. Now it's about what can we do to put ourselves in this position. We've learned so much since Jalen Has been a starter about how to build a roster. You know what I mean? We've learned so much. You know, we know what we're doing. We got young pieces in place. So what are we going to do that's going to be different? You know what I mean? Next season. And I think a lot of those questions start with retaining some of your surprise acquisitions that took that leap, and also seeing what offensive coordinator you want to bring in. But I will say this: Jalen Hurts needs to be on those discussions. He earned the right to be in on the discussions. I know we just saw an interview where Jalen said that's above my pay grade. but he earned the right to be a part of those discussions in terms of who's going to be the next offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, it's been high doses of copium going on social media. Still, the Super Bowl was like what? Like how long ago was the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl was like 2 weeks ago. I feel like at this point, and dudes are they're not coping well. They're not coping well. We talk about there's 15 players that could have won this Super Bowl thing that guys are saying. I want to play a little reverse psychology on that analogy real quick. If Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for Baltimore Ravens or the Bills, they in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. But you don't hear us talking about that in no negative way. Just look at some of these quarterbacks' playoff stats compared to Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Look what Lamar Jackson does in the postseason. Look what Joe Burrow does in the postseason. Look what Herbert does in the postseason. A lot of these guys are not who they claim to be when it's time to go win a trophy. You know what I mean? We spend all regular season talking about Jalen Hurts' deficiencies or lack thereof just for him to do the total opposite in the playoffs. 2 playoff runs. Been to the playoffs twice. The list of guys who went to the playoffs after losing their first one is slim. It's the slimmest of slim. That should let you know the kind of guy he is in terms of resiliency. Going back after losing your first. A lot of guys are happy to just say, I've been there. A lot of guys happy to say, I've been there, but high doses of copium. It's just funny though how we measure quarterbacks differently until Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? Everybody, you measure quarterbacks by Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? You measure quarterbacks by Super Bowls. When Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl and lost, the running theme was wins are not a QB stat. Wins are not a QB stat. When we all know that's the most important position on the field and they get the scrutiny whether you win or lose. Now that Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl, now we're in ring culture. You know what I mean? Ring culture. People are, I'm so upset Jalen Hurts won a ring before Herbert, Burrow, and all of these guys. I'm so upset. But these guys have had their chances. You're talking about guys with like 10 playoff wins. You're talking about guys with 10 playoff games under their belt, stuff like that. Guys have had their crack. Josh Allen has played in 13 playoff games. Why hasn't he been in the Super Bowl yet? He's lost to Patrick Mahomes 4 times. Some guys just know how to get it done. And we got to start, we got to reevaluate and we got to assess and we got to give credit to where credit's due. Some guys just know how to win. And that's what Jalen Hurts do. He knows how to win. So I'm not about the fight. The good fight is over. The fight is over. Tell the Jalen Hurts haters that we put our flag at the top of the hill. We won. We won. There's nothing else to discuss. It's truly nothing else to discuss. But they can't sleep. They can't sleep. You know what I mean? They just can't say that they was wrong. They can't say that they was wrong. And then we got to just keep putting our foot up their ass. We smoking on top 5. Jalen Hurts is in the top 5. If you missed my top 10, you know what I'm saying, last night, I did it on the link up. My top 10 quarterbacks. I got Jalen Hurts as the number 2 quarterback in the league right now. And I have justifiably, I can justify that. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. That's it. I don't really care who else fall in after that, bro, because that's just what it is. Winning has to mean for something. They're the only 2 that won. They're the only 2 that won the bowl. Why would I put anybody else up? They're the only 2 that won the bowl in that certain amount of time that was, you know what I'm saying, of being drafted. They're the only ones. When you talk about this generation greats, when they talk about Super Bowls, listen, if Josh Allen never won a Super Bowl, nobody's going to remember him. They're not going to remember him. A lot of these guys are having a Phillip Rivers type lifestyle. I'd rather have an Eli Manning lifestyle where you could question him all regular season, but then when it's time to win a championship and have a playoff run, he do that. A lot of these guys are having a Matt Ryan lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Matt Ryan been to a bowl, though. A lot of these guys are having a Eli Manning, Matt Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Who else? This is the era of stats. When have stats been more important than winning the Super Bowl? You're talking about a quarterback that's been drilling this in your head all year long. For 2 years now. Keep the main thing the main thing. These are the type of cerebral lunatics at the position that repeat. And I can't wait to see what next season got in store for us, man. Let me know what you think in the comments, man.